Yeah, let's go to group first. Let me check. Where is that? Yeah, this is notice. Okay, slash group. Sorry for that. Okay, I think group must be upper. They are given alphabet wise. API site profile, audit, API profile, credentials, driver, notice, auth, password, permission, queue. Yeah, so actually this is within the group. Permission, queue, scheduling, shared job, task. Where is that group API endpoint? Yeah, this is the group, right? Yeah, so it was here. So if you see, so if you see, this is group, right? So this is my one, this is a base URL group, and within that group, I have these many commands or the paths, right? So I have a group name. If I need to get a name of my group, what I need to do is group and then slash name. So I can get the name of the group. Okay, so how to do that? Now let's say I'm taking one example here first. Okay, I'm just removing everything now and just keeping till this. Okay, and let's say I need to take a ID of that group. Okay, and so for that name is ID. My endpoint is ID, right? So and which is my, what is my URL? My Matillion URL, this one. Okay, so I will enter this here. So what I just need to get, I need to get an ID of my group, which is MTLCD is my group, right? So I have designed my API in such a way that, right? So if you see Matillion REST v1, then under that we have group, under that we have group name, and then we have ID, correct, right? So if I just go here and if I try to hit from here, it is asking me for the my password of my Matillion. Okay, unauthorized. I think my password was not correct.
This is Puttiya, Nitin? Puttiya, this one?
Yes, yes. Now you see, it has given this 64 as group ID. I mean, it has just came on the same line, but yeah, this 64 is my group ID. Similarly, if I again need to check for my project ID or the project, whatever I do, let's say, what is my project? Okay, project name, right? So what I need to do, my path is project. Why? Because within that group, okay, within that group, if you see within group, okay, I have entered this as a group, then name is this name, then group name is MTLCD. Then within project, I have option to get the name of the project, ID of the export, ID of the project, okay, all such things. Okay, so if I want to do that, what I will do, project, then name, okay, and let's see if I just hit that, let's see what I get. Okay, yeah, HTTP 404, that means that endpoint is not found actually. So that endpoint is different. So that what endpoint is that? Let's say I need to specify the name of the project there. So what is the name of my project? MTLSF. Yeah, so it has given the the all the details of my project here. So these are the project details actually. Okay, so basically if I need to get it in some file, what I will say is that prj details.json. Yeah. So if I open it, this is my project details basically. What are the details, right? So I mean it will just give me the what all options are available, HTTP method, get, and all such thing. Okay, because now importantly when you understand this, okay, then probably it will get clear. Now what I need to do, let's say I need to export a job, particular job. Let's say I need to export in, let's say load order data. I need to export this job. Okay, so what I need to do there is, now as I said, right, you can just try to understand. So job is within what we have at the upper level, we have project group, correct? Within that project group we have one project called mtlsf. Within that mtlsf I have a version called default, and within that version my job resides, correct, right? So this detail I need to provide in my API endpoint. So let's say if I take this, okay, and what I'm saying is, so I will just enter this. Was that was the old Matillion URL, so I'm just entering new. What I'm saying, that I have a project group name which is called mtlcd. Within that I have a project called mtlsf. Within that I have a version called default, and within that I have a job, let's say this one, load order data. Okay, and what I need to do is I need to export that. Okay, now on the site where you can see that, you see the export at the project level. Okay, you can get the export at the job level. You see this job and then export, right? So these are the endpoints that they have given. Okay, right? So now if I
They
run
are
it,
not mentioning file path, right? Where we need to export that
no,
JSON.
yes, yeah, no, we can mention that. Let me delete that as well. So
Nitin, just trying to understand the context. This is why we required
yeah, why
just
we
for
require this? Yeah, that is the important.
deployment, deployment
Ye-
purpose.
Yes, one of the example I will tell you. So let's say this,
Okay.
I'm yeah. So this I'm just doing an export. So let's say you have, your admin team have designed, let's say you have your project with Git, but still your admin feel that no, I need some backup of my project. Okay, so he has designed one Unix script and he want to take a backup or export the entire project on this some Unix local and keep it that as a file. Okay, so what it will do, he will just design some shell script and he will basically export, write the export command here, right, to export the project, right?
Okay.
Okay, so as of now, we are just exporting a job. So what I'm saying, export job.json. Yeah. So if you see the export, just oh, unauthorized. Yeah, we get this export, right? I mean, this enter the JSON file, right? Whenever we take any export, that gets exported as a JSON file. Okay, right? So such person. Now another purpose. Okay, specifically. Uh, Now let's say, so in Matillion, let's say you have the environmental variable, okay, and admin wants to change that environmental variable value to something else. So either he can change from here or he can change from that API as well. Okay, so let's say I need to change my environmental variable value for env orders db, and so I will change it to something else, right? But it is in the which environment? env mtl sfdev. So I need to specify that. Okay, so to change that we have one um, we have one basically URL or the API endpoint which we can use that. Let me find that. Mm, env environment name set value UAT. No, this is not the thing. Uh,
Nitin, I have to drop for now. I'll refer this video afterwards. Okay,
yeah,
thanks.
sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, sure. So you can stay back, Sudhakar, right? We can discuss. Mm, set value UAT.
Nitin, we can discuss later once you're back. No problem, Nitin.
No, actually, I need to end this session because next week I will be having some different things, right? So it will not take more than 5 minutes, basically. Otherwise, it will be hard for me to again, start the session and, take the session.
You meant to say complete our everything is done? Still we
Yes.
have, right?
No, this is our end. This is our end. Last thing, Matillion API basics.
Deployment. We
Deployment we have checked, right? Using the Git and all. We have three options, right? Either using the migrate function or using the Git function, right? We have checked this deployment and all, right? So if you see the course content, you will see that. Let me show you that course content. I mean, whatever we discussed during the demo, that is what the course content is. Okay. Mm, yeah, let me share my screen. This is the very advanced topic, the Matillion API. Yeah, so if you see, we have seen all these topics. Okay, building your transformation
this
job.
XML and other I mean other connecting other clouds and working with on premises. These things
No, no,
also possible, right?
yes, that is possible. See, there are actually hundreds of components, right? So it's not possible to
Normally,
cover each and
normally
every.
like connecting other cloud Azure and
No,
connecting
but as I said, right, this is the Matillion for Snowflake platform
by
on the
using Python,
AWS.
by using Python script connectors,
Hmm.
external cloud we can connect and
Right.
like actually project purpose, we need to load data from on premises to cloud. In this case also we need to work, right?
Yes, right. Yeah. So
And
that you can write your
XML also
Python.
much important XML.
No. So what I was saying is, let's say for this Python connector, right, or the Python script, correct? So that Python script, you can write any Python script. So I told you how to use that Python component, right? So you can write any Python script that you want, correct? Because see, the motto of this session is not to tell you how to write the Python script, correct? That you know it very well, all that you can learn on your own, correct? Right? Because I am not again an expert in Python. This is not a something like Python class that I will tell you how to connect to Snowflake from Python. No, right? Here, what I can tell you is how can you use the Python script component or the Bash script component. Correct? Right? I
Yeah,
hope you
that is right.
understand, right?
Within normally that is right. For example, ETL, this requirement could be for some other cloud.
Hmm.
So just from we need to know to connect any database or any files from other clouds also, like
Yes. So
connecting
other
and
clouds,
connect.
as I said, yeah. I'm not sure if
Yeah,
you are
I
remembering
requested
or not.
initially, if you believe me, if you remember or not, I requested initially, like at least we should know. For example, I have a ETL tool. Okay,
Hmm.
in my ETL tool, I need to know how to connect and how to read the data from DB to database, how to
Hmm.
read the data, how to load the data to
Correct.
DB to database. At least like
Yeah.
there could be some kind of properties. I
Yeah.
have
So
to
if
know,
you,
not
yeah,
only SQL. Okay,
correct.
for example, I need to know about Oracle connector and other DB connector and two,
Yeah.
three or files
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Just I need to connect as a that
Correct.
is main portion.
Correct. So if you remember, if you can go back
In
and
your free
watch,
time only, not now.
no,
I'm
no, 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 no,
asking.
no, 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 no. I'm telling you, right? So if you can go back and watch our recordings, okay,
Okay.
we have already discussed this database query component, okay, when we had discussed the RDS query component, okay. So if you can go back and watch your recording, that we had already discussed this, that how can we pull the data from the Oracle database, okay. Now the thing is that we have, when we were using the RDS query component, right, we had discussed about the database query component. So it's pretty easy or pretty simple, right? The way we gave the source detail and target detail, those only things we need to give. Okay. So and these component we have discussed during the earlier session as well. Okay. So if you want them, you can again go back and watch recording. If you don't find that, then let me know. I will discuss.
And
Okay.
this
I
XML
will.
also, XML also mandatory, right?
No, actually, XML is not a part of this
Normally, like
this
XML,
course.
on 100% where we can go, XML will touch base, as I
No, I
believe.
have not. No, I have not used it as of now until in my last 10 years career. That
Uh-huh.
is not the thing. But JSON is the primary. That's why I covered that JSON
Yeah, Jason, you covered. Like it is good.
because because the API endpoint they will give you the JSON data only. Okay.
API you can
Yeah.
normally for everywhere XML can be useful, right?
No.
Everywhere mostly like XML reading and XML files like most of the
No.
clients are using.
Nowadays, if you see, all of the API are REST API. Okay. And REST API
Mhm.
means they are uh, give us a response as a JSON file. Even if you see the Matillion, which we have exported the job, it has given me the JSON, export. If you see that this is
And
JSON.
important things also like we can cover, for example, like important question and answers. Kind
Yeah,
of,
that
for example, in
yes,
Matillion, I need to know like which job is running currently, and like if it is deadlock situation, few things like a
yeah.
scenario
So
based stuff.
yeah, so all that I have, yeah. So yes, so usually what I do at the end of the session, I share two details about the sample interview questions and the, you know,
Discussing practically, for example, like taking question and discussing practically. That is
no,
good,
no,
right?
yeah, but that is not that is not a part of the cover, right? Because see, it will take a month long to discuss whatever the things that you are telling. Okay,
A real time project also like explaining kind of thing that also useful for us. We don't know anything like how to elaborate and how to like if you provide any kind of stuff, then like same thing we are going to mention.
yeah.
That is
So
what
as I
actually.
said at the start, right? You can start. Sorry, just a second.
Like the thing is actually end to end process, like real time process. If I take, then it could be added advantage. For example, if I don't know, I'm not sure, like I'm not working for cloud, like if I take any like existing thing, then they can identify easily. For example, whatever, maybe if it is a small thing or anything, end to end process, like if I go with any real time perspective, like simply then I can say like simply can
Mhm.
on premises also, like we did not cover anything, I believe.
No, no,
On
on-premises
premises to
thing. So the
premises
thing
to
is that,
cloud.
yeah, yeah. So the thing is that the problem is with the on-premises database, we usually need to open our firewall ports on our laptop and all. So
Mhm.
I tried with that, but that is not so easy. Okay, so we need to do a lot of things. Okay, that's why I had taken the example of cloud to cloud. Having said that, as I said, that you can easily use your database query component. Okay, and you just need to write your JDBC URL and select your this database type. Let's say if if you need to query to Oracle, just give your Oracle username and password here and give your Oracle query. Okay, right. And once you give your Oracle query, okay, maybe since we are not given that, it will not open. Yeah, so since you once you give the Oracle query, and then only you need to give the last part as a Snowflake table details, right? So if you remember, this is the same thing we had seen with the RDS query component as well. Okay, so maybe let me see if I have that RDS query component.
Like, and checking instead of this snowflake, like we can check with AWS also, like instead of selecting snowflakes, that
No,
also
that
like.
no no that is not possible. I have already told, right? That is not possible. So because this platform is Matillion for Snowflake, so your end target should always be a Snowflake. However, I have already told you that if you need to specifically insert into some different database like AWS Redshift and all, you will have to write your custom Python script. Okay.
At least one scenario, as you know, one scenario,
No, no. So that is what, right? I am not an
working
expert in the
working with
Python.
target as any cloud.
That is what I'm saying, right? I am not expert in Python. So that part I cannot cover, right? I mean, try to understand what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right. So you're not getting the point, right? You're trying to, get whatever the project like scenario with you. Okay. So that is not possible, right? How can I write the Python script component and load the data in AWS Redshift, right? I'm not a Python expert, right? You're not trying to
Like
getting me what.
that is
So what?
possible only by Python.
Yes, Python, Unix, whatever you feel. JavaScript. You write JavaScript. You write Java. whatever the scripting component, right? Whatever the scripting that you have, you can write it there. But preferably we prefer the Python only, right? Correct. So if you see this
Normally
RDS
like
query component, what we are given here? We are given RDS endpoint, database, username, password, and SQL query. And we are given the Snowflake related parameters. The same thing in the database query component, right? Connection URL, username, password,
yeah,
SQL
agree,
query, and
agree. That is
Snowflake.
Snowflake
Right.
is by default it is supporting. They just
Correct.
we have used, but target, if you connect target as a AWS, then we can work kind of whatever we have done practice, right? For so far, few
Yeah, no,
things
so
at
so
least.
so that is not possible. That is what I'm telling,
Mm.
Sudhakar. You're not
And
trying to
normally,
understand me
once we
what I'm
connect
saying.
target as a AWS or Azure, like these all the things are going to change, right? Mostly,
Yes,
every
but the
activity is going
component
to change.
no, but the component will remain similar kind of thing. Just what you are changing
So
is instead of launching your Matillion platform on AWS, if you launch it on, let's say, sorry, a Matillion for Snowflake, if you launch it for Matillion for Redshift, then your target will be Redshift. Okay, but for that you will need to launch another instance. However, saying that,
Azure,
that
actually like
yes,
looking for Azure Analyticals, Synapse Analyticals,
yeah, then launch product called Matillion for Synapse,
and
right?
even for practice purpose also, we have only instance also. It is not at all supporting for me. If I connect AWS, or then only it will work for me.
No, no. As I said, right? Maybe if you remember, what you can do, you can create your own email domain. Okay.
Mm.
As I said, that comes within the less than
How many
$5,000.
days it would be free? Within how many days?
For 14 days, it is free. But after that, even if you want to try that, it will cost you around $2 per hour. So say whenever you need to practice, you can keep that instance on, and when your practice is done, you can keep that off, right? So for learning, at least you can spend that much, right? And
Normally, if AWS, can be provided free trial, right? 30 days current kind of
no,
thing,
no. AWS free trial is for 1 year.
1 year.
Yes. But there are still other services which are still charges. That means if you want to launch your EC2 machine, only in free tier, only micro type of EC2 machine is available for free. T2.micro type of instances. Okay. So there are restrictions on that. If you want to try it on Azure Synapse or on, you need to launch the Matillion for Synapse on Azure.
Synapse, right? Synapse Analyticals, right?
I think it is again a cloud data warehouse, right? Something like that.
Cloud
Database.
data warehouse.
Yeah, yeah,
Cloud
yeah.
data warehouse.
Yeah, I have just heard the name. I have not worked upon that, but I have just heard the name. Yeah. So that is what I am saying. Like so here there are
Any documentation
hundreds of
within
components.
question and answers? You have any documentation for Matillion?
Yeah, so I will
Real
share
time,
you with the end of this course.
real time question and answers.
Yes, yeah, I will share that with you. Okay. So see what I'm trying to explain. So there are hundreds of components, right? So during the training, it is not possible to cover each
Yeah,
and
yeah,
everything, right?
agree,
Even if you are
agree.
saying that, right? Try to give me some Python script because see, I'm not kind of Python expert that I can write
And
the
normally, one way,
immediate
once
query.
we need to connect the once at least. We like implementing using and components. I agree. Like it is very complex, and we need to go everything, each and everything properly. Agree.
Yes,
At
yeah.
least connecting like other clouds, we can have some kind of idea at least. That is what I want.
No, as I said, right,
Maybe
that is
requirement could
that.
be like they will be not using Snowflake. They are going to use some AWS or Azure. Might be. Is it possible, right? Nitin?
Yeah, I mean, you're not trying to get me. That is what I'm saying, right? This platform is for Matillion for Snowflake. That means my target warehouse will or target database will always be a Snowflake. Okay. Having said that, if you want to load, if your cloud data warehouse is a Synapse in Azure, then you will need to launch Matillion for Synapse. A complete different instance you will need to launch.
Yeah, at least
Okay.
connecting once. I mean, connecting once only.
No, no, that is not possible. Sorry
I'm
for that.
actually rest of the components and doing activities and all, like it is not possible. I'll agree.
Yeah,
Like each and everything again we need to go through. That is not possible.
yeah.
Connecting only once other clouds. That is what I'm looking. Anything.
No, as I said, right, this course
Not
was
now.
for
Like
Matillion.
whenever you have a time. Whenever you have a time.
Uh,
Not
no,
now.
no, no, no. Let me clear the things. So see, this course was for Matillion for Snowflake. Correct? Understood?
Yeah, agree,
Agree? Yeah. So
agree.
here we were having the Snowflake as a cloud data target data house and Matillion as a our ETL tool. If you want, Synapse as a, so you need to launch Matillion for Synapse, right? So that is out of this course, and that may not be possible for me to cover that here. Okay, clear?
Anything.
Yeah, because see, some of the things you will see that, like try to cover each and everything. So that is not possible, right?
Initially,
Even
same
if
thing.
you,
Initially, I requested Nitin. If you like, I'll go through recording and I'll come back.
yeah, you can come back. Yeah. So
Initially,
I
I'll
may,
requested. You said at the
yes,
time like we can cover once like that. You said
yes, yeah, you can go to
connecting
recording.
other clouds.
And
Other clouds. I had a question early first class
no,
maybe.
see, you had different question that time. So connecting other clouds, you mean to say that you had to transfer your data to some Azure database or Redshift database. Okay, right. So what I told you that time, that you can use data transfer component. Okay, and here you can select your any source, as in like S3 or anything. So let's say if you have data in Snowflake. Okay, so let's try to understand that scenario. So let's say if you have the data in Snowflake, correct? And you need to transfer the data to some Azure storage, right? The way we have S3 bucket in Azure. What is that? What we have in Azure? What is that storage?
Synapse Analyticals.
No. That is a cloud database. But what is the, like the way we have S3 bucket, right? What we have in Azure? Okay, you don't know. Okay, so as I said, let's say we have some data in Snowflake, and our client wants to put that data from Snowflake to our uh, you know um, uh, from Snowflake to the Azure cloud storage. Okay, so for that, what you can do first, you need to get the data from Snowflake to S3. That you can do using S3 S3 unload component. Okay, so then once you have that file in your S3, you can select here S3. You can give your file name, bucket name, whatever you feel. Okay, yes, I'm giving you see this. Okay, and then in the target type, if you see the target type, you have that Azure blob storage. Okay, so here you can select that Azure blob storage, and you need to give your Azure location or Azure right, details. And what it will do then, now this data transfer component, it will transfer your file from S3 to a different cloud storage, which is Azure, or you can transfer to Google storage as well, right? So we can use this data transfer component to transfer the files. Okay, but you cannot directly load it to Azure Synapse from using Matillion for Snowflake.
Yeah, if
Clear?
you choose target as a Azure, then we can load, right?
Yes, if we have Matillion product called
And
Matillion
this
for,
on-premises is mandatory, right? Anything like wherever we go, like we need to load initially migration and all. So on-premises to
uh,
cloud might be
yeah.
required.
So what I would suggest you, that you can just use a database query component, and you can try on your on premises, right? Okay. So why I said, right? So there are like network or firewall settings that are available in laptop, right? That's why we're not able to connect to our on-premises database. Or let's say if we have our Oracle database installed on our laptop, and we want to get the fetch the data from Oracle database to Snowflake,
File
right?
set list. Okay, database. Okay, file set list. We
No,
should have an
files
idea.
we cannot. Yeah, files we cannot. So what you need to do, let's say if you have any file which is on premises, we'll have to transfer that file first to S3, and then use S3 load component to copy that to Snowflake, right? So it is not
Normally,
something that,
how to transfer files, we need to know, right? Exactly. Okay, whatever you're
yeah,
saying, like we cannot
yeah,
load directly like
yeah. Let's say,
database.
yes, yeah. So let's say if you have any file on your another Unix machine, and that is a on premises Unix machine, right? So you can simply write AWS S3 copy command, right, and copy that to Snowflake, sorry, S3, and from that S3 use your S3 load component and load it
Even,
to Snowflake.
even there also like even though like there also like on premises to S3 cloud, we need to know process and all.
No, that is just a matter of writing your AWS S3 command. AWS S3 CP command is there, and you can transfer that file. You can go not this. Yeah, so sorry, this one. So you can go to copy command reference on S3. You can write it, right? AWS S3 CP command. Correct. Right? So see, there are lot of things, right? Okay. So not everything can be covered, right? That may be the important from your point of view, but that may not be important from other candidates. Correct. So this course is designed to understand how exactly Matillion works, right? And what all possible components which are there which we can use. Correct. So if you see, we have covered a lot of things. We have covered from basic to advanced, right? And if you see, 12 days back, where we started, right, and where we are now, right? So like this is not the first training that I am conducting, right?
Yeah,
It's been now
agree,
more
Nitin.
than
Agree, Nitin.
is it more
Agree,
than
agree.
10 to 15
But
training
the thing is
that
actually new for everything. That is what
no no
like in
yeah. So the
like
Matlin is
start.
new for everyone. You're not the first candidate which is new to Matlin, right?
You are
Matlin
the
is new for
expert, I
everyone.
believe.
No, that is not the thing. That not within an ETL tool, everyone cannot understand or learn everything, right? Because if you are working on talent or informatica, right? I will ask you something that you will not be able to answer because the tool is very vast, correct?
Yeah,
Right,
agree, agree.
right. And see, this course, as I said, it's been now 10 to 15 trainings, right? And this course is designed based on understanding based on that feedback from that, right? However, the your feedback that you are trying to say that include the uh, you know the query component from on-premises to cloud, right? So I will try to check that. Though I have already checked, but I faced issue on the firewall settings and all with the laptop. Actually, I tried with
It's a
another
real-time
candidate as
project,
well.
Nitin.
Another
Help us
candidate.
with help me for a real-time project. Mostly
Yes,
like after
yes. So what?
practicing, not now.
Yes.
After
So
like
what?
doing like such a practicing also, like how many days this lab would be available to 1 month?
No, no, no. So you see, as I said, you can launch your own instance. You can practice it. If you want this lab to be available, I can keep it on this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Because post that, our free
Did
trial
not
will
use
get expired.
anything, Nitin. Like if you provide at least 1 month, it could be like
Okay. No, no, that okay. So that you can check with the course drill team. Okay. Because
that
see, if you are
covering
not
real time.
use it,
I
no,
mean,
no,
I'll
see,
come back. I'll come back like doing kind of good practice.
yeah,
Then
yeah,
real
sure,
time
sure.
stuff we can at least
Yeah.
once if you like.
So once you practice this, right, then
Hmm.
try to get your current project, and then we'll see how you can design your current project in Matillion, right?
I'll keep on touch with you, Nitin. Don't mind actually. Like I won't disturb. That is true.
No, no. The only thing that you said that you did not try till now, right? So that is your issue. Correct.
Yeah,
Right?
Nitin. Again.
You that is why I kept it lab and I had spent the time during the training itself. I could have finished this training within a 7 days. Okay. If I did not do the lab, right? But if you heard in the demo, if you heard in my every session that I want
Yeah,
the candidates,
you was provided, Nitin. I am agree. Like
yeah. But
because of
yes.
our
So
availability, my availability, I haven't gone like
no,
properly.
no,
I am
no.
agree.
It's not availability, right? Everyone have practice within the session only. So if you stay in the session for 1.5 hours, if you practice it, then it's good for you, right? And based
Yeah,
on your time on weekend, you can practice it later. But at least you should have tried, right? Because see, what my intention is, whoever is candidate who comes to me, right? At the end of the training, they should be able to design their own jobs, correct? Right?
yeah.
If you are not practiced during the session, then that is not my problem, right? Because every other candidate was practicing during the session only, correct? Right? And if you now say no, keep it on for 1 month, then you will need to check with Coastal, and that may not be possible, I would say. You will have to launch your own instance. Right?
Okay, Nitin. Okay, Nitin. Thanks. I'll get back, Nitin. Thank you. I
Okay.
like.
Sorry? Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can get back and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Thanks for that.